So you've just been told that your cat has CKD or chronic kidney disease, and it's stage 2 or 3 or 4. And that can shock you, but here's a truth that no one says very clearly. The stage isn't the problem. The fibrosis is. And if you haven't even heard that word in a CKD discussion, then there's much to learn to get you to that place where you can really positively affect your cat's CKD health and management. I'm Dr. Chris. I've been a vet for 21 years. I've been helping people with their cats and their kidneys for that amount of time and then some. So let's get into this. When you first find out your cat has CKD, we're often going to talk about a stage. Your stage 1, sometimes you catch them there. 2, the vast majority of cats we will catch there. 3 on occasion, and for some unlucky cats where maybe certain things were missed or we had some bad luck, we're in a stage 4. And this word stage, it's very quantified, it's very binary. And of course, it just goes back to us when we were students in school. We all want A's, we don't want B's, certainly not C's or D's. This is something that's ingrained with us. It's natural and it's normal. But what if I told you that when we communicate information about CKD in terms of stages, it kind of takes out a big part of the conversation that we really gotta have, which is why? What's below the stage? If stage is a weather report on a piece of paper, fibrosis is the actual storm happening in real time. Well, this is true because fibrosis is actually the reason the kidney has achieved this stage, and it's the reason why kidneys progress into further stages. It is the main issue, the problem that's going on with the kidney during CKD. Just think about when you cut yourself on your skin, or you fall down when you're a kid on your knees and you scab yourself. Part of that scab material is your body laying down healing material, and some of it is this process of fibrosis. Now, eventually, what we want is the scab to fall off and normal skin to happen underneath. But when this healing process goes deranged, as it does in CKD, this is fibrosis. This is like scab scarring material being proliferating all within the kidney. So the kidney is sensing something is wrong, it's trying to heal itself, but all it ends up doing in this process of CKD is adding more scar tissue. Fibrosis is scar tissue within the kidney, and you've got to find out how to reduce or eliminate or do anything you can to slow down this scar tissue. So you've got to understand that behind that stage is this process of scar tissue. Okay, if it's really about scar tissue, what are the strategies? What are the things I can do to reduce that scar tissue? And here's the good news. The things that you can do to slow down fibrosis, the scar tissue within the kidney, are the same things that can make your cat feel better, because it all comes down to that quality of life. When you adopted this little companion into your life, it's unconditional love, and this is one of the ways that we repay that love. We always wish they could speak our language, but this is a way we're gonna understand the language of the kidney to help them. So as time goes on, healthy kidney tissue gets replaced by scar tissue, and that's why the stage goes up, okay? Now, fibrosis does not happen randomly. There's very specific things that go into fibrosis. Now let's talk about some heavy hitters that cause fibrosis within your cat's kidneys. This is malnutrition, which is just simply not eating enough. This is weight loss, muscle loss within the body. The next thing that's a heavy hitter for fibrosis is gut-derived uremic toxins. Pretend this is your cat. This is the gut-kidney axis, something that you absolutely have to know. So this is your cat's mouth. I know I draw like a 5-year-old. This is your cat's mouth. We go down to our gut. Here's our kidneys. Here's our colon. So when we ingest food, and of course we want your cat to ingest food, we need the food. We need lean body mass. We need body condition. We're gonna eat food. Meow, meow. In goes our food over here. Let me improve that color. There we go. We need food, in comes the food, goes into our stomach, and then it goes into our small intestine. So what's going on to the food into the small intestine? Well, you got to digest it. And in the small intestine, so this is our duodenum, the food eventually ends up in the colon, right over here. Now here's where things come alive for your cat in a very real way for CKD. Or if you want to try to drop CKD, go from a stage 3 to a stage 2 or even a stage 1. It is possible. We see it all the time. What do you need to know about that? This is what you need to know. There's a thing that can happen in your cat, and it's called dysbiosis. Dysbiosis. What lovely printing I have. Dysbiosis. There's our dysbiosis. With dysbiosis, what happens is the gut bacteria, the things in the gut and the lining of the gut that is responsible for proper nutrient absorption, that's responsible for passing out of waste from your cat's body, it becomes unhealthy. Dys means it's like a pathology. It means a malfunction, right? Biosis meaning the biotic system within the gut, dysbiosis. Why does that even occur? Well, we've got our kidneys right here. And in CKD, what happens is we have an increase in uremic waste. Uremic waste are the stuff your kidneys are supposed to filter out. And when they don't filter it out, some of them eventually enter the circulation and affect the gut. These uremic toxins go within the gut and change the gut bacteria for the worse. It makes it less quality, more pure, less diversity. So then what happens within the gut is the gut gets more unhealthy, but then even worse, products from the gut go back into the circulation, and these are called gut-derived renal toxins. Guess what those do? They go right back to the kidney, stress the kidney out through an oxidative process, affect the mitochondria, which in turn scars up the kidney. And then when you scar up the kidney, you can't filter as well, so you end up having an increase of creatinine, an increase of stage, which in turn affects the gut even more. As you can tell, this is a cycle that we don't want. It's creating a whole mess. It's a whole mess. So what do we have to do? We absolutely have to cut the cycle, and this is the bite strategy, right? This is why I call it the foundation. So if we're only chasing lab numbers or focused on stage, we're missing our presence on the main battlefield. So bite, we take a bite out of CKD. B stands for body weight. Lessening body weight over time, so trends downward, are associated with cats who do worse with CKD. Why? Fibrosis, more scar tissue. Intestinal health for toxin elimination. What does that mean? The gut is a huge source of toxins that during the process of CKD eventually affects the kidney in a way that a cycle is created by which kidney worsening affects the gut even worse, and it's a cycle of toxins. When we cut that cycle, there is a more than good chance that fibrosis is slowed down, that your cat's kidneys can stabilize. When you first get a diagnosis of CKD, there's so much information thrown at you. Food changes, supplements. What do I do? Do I have to add certain things to their diet? What medication do I need? Do I have to get a blood pressure done? Do I need a urine sample? What do I have to look for in the urine sample? What about hydration? What about sub-Q fluids? What about anemia? And the list goes on and on and on and on. And all of those are important things. But what I see as a vet practicing for 20 years is that the babies often get thrown out in the bathwater. The core concepts are missed with all of these fine level details that have their role, have their place, but they have to be placed within a strategy, within a roadmap. And so using this bite strategy, as you can tell, it's really the heavy hitting, let's slow down this fibrosis. And by doing that, your cat will start to look and feel better. And with that foundation in place, so the kidneys can show their true health potential, they typically do better with all the other options that you've got to consider, such as food changes, prescription diets, what treats can I feed them, do I need sub-Q fluids, just all of the other issues that come into play, all the other options that come into play. A lot of the things I read about CKD or second opinions that I'm asked to give for cats, what I found is it's not really a plan. Really, the cart has been placed in front of the horse. We are going to reverse that. We're going to get the body pulling and contributing to proper kidney health. And that's how you begin that CKD journey for your cat. So now we've got a plan. We've got to protect weight, protect appetite, protect body condition, protect hydration, protect the gut. This is the core. So let me say this very clearly. CKD is not just about staging It is a disease where you've got to take into account your cat's energy, what's coming into their body, and reduction of scar tissue within that kidney, which is the primary driver of this illness to begin with. It's fibrosis that takes your cat's kidneys down, not necessarily the stage. So if you want to try to change your cat's outcome, it's not about chasing that stage. It's about chasing the fibrosis. You want to slow down the scarring. You want to protect that energy, protect that spark that they have inside of them, that will to live. Because very often with CKD, there is a cat waiting in the wings to show that they can really do it. They can really optimize their own body, their own healing, and come alive. Now here's the other good news. So much of how you accomplish this can be done at home. I absolutely describe this step by step, giving you a roadmap in my book, 9 Lives, 1 Mission. I also have an online video course. It's called Dr. Chris's CKD Master Guide, and there's options in there so you can talk to me one-on-one about your cat as well. Within this video series, you can hear stories, how we're using the bite strategy. You can actually see patients of mine and how it's helping them. You'll see a multitude of advice of really getting down to the core of what your cat needs, knowing what to ask your vet when you visit them for advice, what products you probably need at this point in time, and most importantly, what you don't. This is Dr. Chris. Love those cats. Till next time.